The Bible is full of rich and exciting passages which talk about God's power and His love for us. But it also teaches us. Several years ago, a friend of mine and I discovered that there was a pattern to some of the more exciting, miraculous stories in the Bible. We're going to explore those today. I call it the ID formula. Capital I, capital D. There's 4 of them. In the formula and in the stories in the Bible, you will see that God has an intentional disciple. God picks someone intentionally to be His disciple, His follower, His learner, and to do a task for Him. The next ID is an impossible dilemma. That person is faced with something that's just up against the odds and they don't know if they can do it or not. An impossible dilemma. Next, God provides an impressive demonstration of His power, where He shows that He is God and He is beyond any and all expectations that we might have in our lives, as well as the reactions of people that we work with. And last, an important decision is made. So you've got an intentional disciple faced with an impossible dilemma. God provides an impressive demonstration of His power, and then an important decision is made. Today we're going to look at several of those examples. But first, let's take one just for a trial run. Let's take Jonah in the book of Jonah, chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Jonah is our intentional disciple. God chooses Jonah out of all the other prophets and all the other followers that He has, and He gives him a special task. His task is to go to the great evil city of Nineveh and preach the good news to them. Well, not good news, but the news that God is going to destroy the city in 40 days. Jonah is faced with an impossible dilemma. How do you go and tell an entire city that they're about to be destroyed? They're evil. He's scared, he doesn't want to do it, or he's indifferent to the people's reaction. So he turns around and he goes the opposite direction of Nineveh. He gets on a ship and starts heading away in the water. God sends a great big storm, and Jonah ends up in the water and is swallowed by a great fish. In this, God's impressive demonstration is that He keeps Jonah alive in the belly of that great fish. Jonah has a change of heart. The fish spits him back out on the beach, and then he goes to the task that God has given him, which is to go to Nineveh and tell them about God. He does that, and then an important decision is made. The people of Nineveh actually listen to Jonah and they repent. They put on sackcloth. The king of Nineveh writes his decree, and he says, let everyone put on sackcloth. Let everyone turn away from his wicked and evil ways. Who knows? God might withdraw His anger from us. And so in this story, you hear that Jonah is the intentional disciple faced with an impossible dilemma. God provides an impressive demonstration, and then an important decision is made. Let's look at another passage in the Bible where they follow this same formula and see if you can pick out those 4 IDs.
Okay, it's time for us to go through the Bible passage together. Nick, start drawing.
Wait, Mom, why is Dad recording all of us?
He's trying to make a sermon more interesting by making a video about the Bible passages.
Wait, is he allowed to do that? Isn't Dad supposed to be preaching? Aren't we doing all the work?
Well, yes, but we're going to help him because he always needs help.
Okay, what story are you reading?
We're going to look at the story in Daniel chapter 3. So let me tell you about 3 young men, God's intentional disciples, named Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Wait, did you just say the names for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego?
No, They're Old Testament names: Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They lived in the country of Israel long ago with their friend Daniel. Things were going very well for them. And then something terrible happened.
Let me guess. Their home was invaded by an enemy army, and they were carried away to a far away land.
Actually, that's exactly what happened. Do you know the story?
Yes, we heard it in vacation Bible school. Summer jam. But go ahead and keep telling the story.
So these three young men tried to adjust to the new country, but they kept their faith in God. They worked hard, but they also made sure to pray to God every day. One day, the king, Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, made a rule. Everyone in the kingdom had to bow down and worship a giant gold statue 90 feet high.
So the king made a rule that everyone had to worship the statue. That would be a hard choice for people to make who want to worship God. Is that the impossible dilemma?
Yes, and everyone did bow down to the statue as the music was played by a band. Everybody did it except for 3 people. Do you want to guess which ones?
Larry, Curly, and Mo?
No, but I think you know that already. Everyone worshipped the statue when the band played. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego would not do it. They would only worship God. This made the king very angry, and he demanded that the 3 friends be brought to see him. The king gave them another chance to bow down to the statue, but they still wouldn't do it. The king said, "If you do not worship, you will be thrown immediately into a burning, fiery furnace."
Do you mean like a very hot oven?
Yes.
They didn't do it, did they?
Nope. In fact, the 3 friends said to the king, "If that is the case, our God will deliver us from the burning, fiery furnace. But even if he doesn't, you should know that we will not serve your gods. We will not worship the golden image you have set up."
I think it's about to get hot.
You would be correct. The king's face changed. He was really mad now. The king told his servants to turn up the heat in the furnace so that it was 7 times hotter than normal.
7 times hotter? That's like really hot. Like as hot as a nuclear bomb. Or my new playlist.
Whatever. Yes, it was really hot. In fact, it was so hot that the men who threw the friends into the furnace were killed by the incredibly hot flames. But then God did a miraculous thing. The 3 friends were cool. They didn't burn up. The king was amazed. He said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the middle of the fire."
So there was someone else in there too?
Yes, the king did see a 4th person in the fire. It could have been an angel, but some people think it was even Jesus protecting them from the flames.
God saved them with an impressive demonstration. Right, Mom?
Yes, he did. The king walked over to the furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, come out and come here." The 3 friends came out of the furnace. The king and all the government officials gathered around them. The 3 friends' clothes were not even burned. Not one hair on their heads had been burned. They didn't even smell like smoke or fire.
So now what's the king going to do?
Well, the king made an important decision and a decree. He said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. God has delivered them from the furnace. Therefore, I make a decree. Any people, nation, or language that speaks anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be destroyed. For there is no other God who is able to rescue in this way." Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon.
That is awesome. They trusted in God so much, they knew he would protect them from the flames and help them through anything bad when times got tough.